Hello, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. In today's video, we're going to be landing on both Minmus and the Mun with this super tiny lander you see me building now. One thing you don't see me add, which I do add, is a probe core. Now, it's not completely necessary, but adding the probe core will change the control point direction so it's facing upwards like a typical rocket. So you'll be more used to controlling it that way. You can also just right-click the command seat or just reorient the command seat. Jebediah doesn't need to be sitting up so that the control point is pointing upwards, which is more typical for Kerbal Space Program. Now, as for the ascent, purely standard, you want to be going a little bit above 300 meters per second at 10 kilometers, pointing about 45 degrees. You don't want to go too fast, and that's a reason I turned down the thrust on the vector engine, especially lower in the atmosphere, because you're just going to be wasting your burn on the atmosphere. Now, once we're in orbit, there's two ways really to get to Minmus. One of them is like the more proper way, and the way to do that is at your ascending or descending node, create a maneuver and drag on the normal or anti-normal in order to make your inclination match Minmus's. Then just burn prograde until you get an encounter. The way I did it was create a maneuver at the either ascending or descending node, then just drag it out prograde, because if you're doing it at the ascending or descending node, that's like the midpoint in the inclination where it kind of matches where you are. It'll make it harder to get like a circular orbit, but we're just gonna land, so no biggie. And luckily I didn't have to wait like a few orbits. Minmus was already in a good spot. Now, once we burn to get up to Minmus, we need to make a course correction that'll just get us closer so that we can circularize and land. So I set up the course correction, and then I accidentally overcorrect, so I'm kind of on a crash course with Minmus. And to make matters worse, the solar panels are not in a good orientation to get any sunlight, so we're out of power. I had Jeb get out, but for some reason the EVA pack was just acting crazy. As you can see, it's like, usually his head is like pointing upwards. So it was kind of tough, but I got him to just bump into the spacecraft. And then board. So yeah, then we got power, and we could fix the situation. And now that we have power again, we can change our orientation in order to prevent a crash landing. Only thing left now is to time warp to our periaps and then burn to land. Landing on Minmus is incredibly easy. I'd say it's even easier than Gilly. I'd say Minmus is definitely the easiest place to land. Gilly is just so unbelievably like light that landing is actually kind of tough, because you can just slow down to nothing and then you're pretty much just sitting there. So like the asteroid doesn't really have any power to take you down. Minmus though, super easy. Once you get here, run around a bit. I mean, it's epic. And don't forget to plant a flag. That's the only reason to really go anywhere, especially in sandbox mode. But yeah, as you can see, it's like the EVA is still going crazy on this guy. I don't know why. And it's not the SAS either, because like I had that enabled earlier. I think it's just the command seat messing with it. So yeah, plant the flag. And then get ready to go to the Mun. So that's what we do next. As for the ascent from Minmus, you want to just go up a tiny bit so you don't hit any large mountains, especially if you land at sea level. And then just burn sideways. I actually did a bit too much. So a good like parking orbit around Minmus, probably like 8 kilometers, maybe even less. There's no reason to go that high. I mean, there are some huge mountains, but they're not that big. But yeah, in order to get our encounter with the Mun, this is another good reason that I did the like ascending node prograde trick instead of changing our inclination. Because we're at Minmus at the point where it's like in the middle of the plane. It's not above or below the Mun's plane. If you're going to spend a lot of time on Minmus though, that wouldn't work. So we don't have to really fiddle around too much, we just have to burn in a way that's subtracting from Minmus's velocity. Now I set up the encounter to like get us something with the Mun, but I guess I just burned right past it because it didn't work. So if that happens to you, I wouldn't recommend trying to change it while you're still in Minmus's sphere of influence. I time warped up until I was back in Kerbin's, and then I set up the maneuver to fix it. Now, our like capture to the Mun, look at how like bendy that is. We're basically coming in one direction, coming out the other direction. It's basically parallel. That's super good. And it means we're gonna have to burn very little in order to capture. And does anyone else get that like glitch where if you're time warping the like the encounter like goes away? If that happens to you, I just like click the trajectory right before where I'm supposed to like time warp to, and then I just press time warp 2, and then it'll go away, but it'll stop me like right when I get there. Yeah, so that's the only thing I know of that can kind of fix that. So as for the descent, I wanted to go for something equatorial, not just for like good practice, but because Jeb will definitely need a rescue mission. He doesn't have enough fuel to get back to Kerbin on his own, and even if he did, he has no heat shield. I don't really trust his spacesuit to, you know, not burn up. Landing though was really good. I slowed down way too much, way too early. I'm gonna be honest, I just wasn't paying too much attention. As I said earlier, we were coming in really slow from Minmus, so I guess I just thought I would need to... I really didn't think I'd have so much Delta V left. But, yeah. The landing was good. We're just, like, on this, slope. So, not perfect, but definitely doable. That's pretty much all for today. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe and comment telling me what you liked about it. And also comment what you think I should do with Jeb, because he's still on the Mun. And I'm thinking either a rescue mission or maybe pick him up to go do another mission. So something like that would be epic. Yeah, so if you guys have any ideas, definitely let me know. And in the next video, we will do something with Jeb. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.